The NFL draft is in the books. How did your team do? There's the horn. That means it's time for the American Sports Show. Now, here's the man with the plan, the rude dude, the Sultan of Sports himself. Here's your host, Mr. Ted LaRue. Welcome to the American Sports Show. My name is Ted LaRue. Today we'll be talking about the NFL draft today, and let's get right to it. Round number one, pick number one was Cam Newton. The national championship winning quarterback from Auburn is now the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. What does this say about Jimmy Clausen? Not a whole lot. It's basically saying, Jimmy, you're not our quarterback anymore. I would assume they would use him for trade bait. I don't know why you'd have two quarterbacks of the future on one roster, and why would you pick a player first overall to trade him? So I think Jimmy Clausen could compete for another job elsewhere. I think he had a crappy offensive line, didn't have a lot of targets, and he had the worst team in the National Football League last year, so that didn't help either. But I think he's got some promise in him. I think he's got that NFL arm, so we'll see if he's put in the right situation. I think he might be able to succeed. Going down the list, take a look at pick number 4. The Bengals take A.J. Green. A.J. Green, the Bengals in the second round also picked up quarterback Andy Dalton. That's addressing the issues at wide receiver with the unknown future of Chad Ochocinco and Terrell Owens, and the quarterback issues with Carson Palmer. What's going to happen to him? Just think, if you get Dalton, you got Dalton and you got Green, and you get a lot of stuff in a trade for Carson Palmer when the lockout is lifted. I think this could be a good new regime and new personnel coming in for the Bengals to help them succeed with a younger team. Going down the list, number 6. This is where the draft, in this one day that you could make trades, they were made, and they were made. That is for sure. Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons was picked by the Falcons at number 6. They traded with the Browns. The Falcons gave up, I could be wrong on this, but they gave up a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick in this year's draft, and a first-round pick in next year's draft, and they also gave up draft picks later on to get Oregon State running back Jacquizz Rodgers. So they're really going all out. A 13-3 team last season. They need a weapon, big weapon to go alongside Roddy White. They got it with Julio Jones. Jake Locker goes 8th overall to the Tennessee Titans. Could be a good fit. Depends on what they get around. You obviously got Chris Johnson. Receiver, you got Kenny Britt. Kind of a change as the Titans bring in a new head coach, so we'll see how that goes down. Number 10, you got Blaine Gabbert to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a very interesting pick, where the Jags are going to go from here. You obviously got Maurice Jones-Drew in the backfield. This is a team that nearly made the playoffs last season. So and I think putting in Gabbert there, a new young quarterback, new change of scenery, I think this could pay off. Going down the list, another quarterback at 12. Excuse me. Christian Ponder to the Minnesota Vikings. All the Minnesota Vikings needed is a quarterback to make their team a pretty darn good one, and they got one in Christian Ponder. Now, is he the right man at the quarterback position? I don't know. If I were the Vikings, I think I either would have traded down to get Ponder, or I would have picked some other position that I needed help with. Maybe get a quarterback in the second round. In the second round, could have traded up. You could have traded up to get Andy Dalton, Colin Kaepernick. You could have gotten what's his name, Mallett. You could have gotten Mallett, who eventually went to the Patriots in round number 3. So I don't know. We'll see. Christian Ponder could blow us all the way, but in college he just didn't seem to have that it, as they call it. He didn't have it to be able to lead his team to victory at Florida State. That's just my opinion. 13, big pick here. Lions take Nick Fairley, defensive tackle out of Auburn. Slept a little bit once, maybe thought as the first overall pick, but he's been slipping. Slipped down to number 13, and the Lions will have Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh up the middle. That is a team to watch out for. They also got Titus Young, wide receiver, in the second round. That is a team to watch out for. Yeah, they're in a tough division with the Bears, with the Packers, and the Vikings. But, man, that is a team that can make some noise if Matt Stafford stays healthy. Going down the list, number 19 is the biggest steal of the draft. 19th overall, the New York Giants selected Prince Amukamara out of the University of Nebraska. Great cover corner, one of the best in college football, if not the best at the cornerback position. Alvin Kamara will definitely contribute to that lackluster and kind of an okay and average pass defense in New York. Moving down the list, the Saints made some news late. They made some news. They got, at 24, they got Cameron Jordan, a defensive rush end. And they also, at 28, they got Mark Ingram. What does this mean for the future of Reggie Bush? Well, what Reggie Bush, I was following this on Twitter. Right when Ingram got picked, Reggie Bush tweeted, "It's been fun, New Orleans." Don't know what the future of Reggie Bush is, especially with Pierre Thomas. And there's one other running back that is slipping my mind in there. But I don't think Reggie Bush wants to stay in New Orleans to maybe be a slot receiver and a kick returner. So we'll see where Reggie Bush fits in come when the lockout is lifted. So that's the first round. Taking a look at the second round. Andy Dalton going there. Colin Kaepernick to the 49ers. 49ers need a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick, I think he could come in right away. Big, tall guy. Worked out of that Nevada Pistol offense. Could be good. Should be interesting to see how he fits in. But I think the 49ers still need a veteran quarterback. Carson Palmer went to USC from Cali. I bet he'd like San Francisco and the Bay Area. As I said, Ryan Mallett gets picked in the third round by the New England Patriots. Big 6'7" guy, big arm, strongest arm in the draft. Tom Brady in his low to mid 30s. I think this is a good decision for the Patriots to get this guy. Good pick by the Patriots. I think a couple of teams maybe earlier in the draft could have taken a chance on Ryan Mallett, like the Vikings, like I mentioned before. Overall, this draft, you had the lockout behind it, but I still like what some of the teams did. I like what the Saints did. They also picked up Martez Wilson out of the University of Illinois in the third round. But who are my winners and my losers? Winners, I'm going to go with the Lions. Lions, I think, did a good job getting Nick Fairley at that defensive tackle out of Auburn. I also like what the Buccaneers did. I forgot to mention this before. I also like the Buccaneers. Adrian Claiborne, defensive end at 20. And then the second round, the Buccaneers picked Daquan Bowers with the 19th pick in the second round. Bowers slipped, who was once considered the first overall pick in this draft, a specimen at defensive end, now dropped to the middle of the second round because of injury issues. He can get healthy. That is the steal of the draft. I know I said Prince Amukamara before, but Daquan Bowers has that potential to be a dominant pass rusher, like maybe Simeon Rice, who used to be in a Tampa Bay uniform as well. I definitely like what Tampa Bay did. They're also in a tough division with the Panthers. With the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints. I kind of also like what Cleveland did. Cleveland might be two years away from contending, but they traded out of that top spot to get more picks, and a lot of picks. I kind of like what Mike Holmgren did, try and build around with Colt McCoy. But, a good draft all in all. Also, another winner, New York Giants. Gotta like what they did with Prince Amukamara. They also picked up Marvin Austin in the second round. He went right after Daquan Bowers. Boy, I tell you what, those two guys, Bowers and Austin, could be really good. Austin slipped because he didn't play last year and because he maybe had character issues. So I think this could be big if they can both get through their issues and be successful NFL players. What do you think about the NFL draft? How did your team do? Those are my thoughts on the NFL draft. Have a great day, guys.